All right, we're gonna start recording again now. Tony, did you get me? Wait, I'm good, man. I'm good, thanks. Lord God ATV. Who are you? Yes, but who are you in John's class? Here, there's a list of people. Oh, Cassine, okay, cool. No, I don't think I did get you. Kashan, right? Is that how you say it? Kashan? Cool, yeah, Kashan, okay. Yeah, and John Sickett is live on Canvas apparently. I don't know how to check him out, but it's lagging so bad. Well, that's why I'm using Twitch. Anyway, let's keep doing this. Let's keep doing this. Oh, everything froze. Okay, well, I mean, Kilo, I can't tell you where to go. I mean, the internet is still a free country apparently. So you do what you feel is best. It means you will miss out on learning about the O2R, but I don't know. It's up to you. So where were we? Oh, we were talking about this plugin. All right, so let's get off the plugin. Let's stay focused here a little bit, and let's see, extract change. Okay, changing the track color real quick. A little thing in Ableton Live, changing the track color. We've got here. I can go ahead and change all these track color. You just select them and you right click, and you can change the track color to whatever you want. Change the track color, boom, or whatever. And then once you change the track color, you can go down here and you right click again, you go to assign track color to clips, and it will assign it to all your clips as well, which is a pretty cool little function. All right, so Joanna, you had asked earlier, are we gonna talk about subgrouping in Ableton Live? The answer is yes. I'm gonna show you how to do that right now, and it's in the notes under here, under subgroup mixing. It's actually on the next page. So under subgroup mixing here, if we look at this, let's just I'm just gonna read through these steps real quick. Step number 1, create a new audio track, get audio from, no input, rename the track to drum group. I always rename it to drum group. And then you select the tracks you want to subgroup, and then you set audio to the drum group that you just named, and then you set the monitor to in. It's actually not hard at all, you just gotta do it. So here's how we do it. So what I do is I make a new track, Command T to make a new track, and I go in here and I'm gonna rename it to drum group, boop. And then I'm gonna highlight all these drum tracks here. I highlight them all. And I go down here to where it says audio 2, and it doesn't matter which one you click on. You can click on any one of them, audio 2, and I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna set it to drum group. And now this one here is my drum group track right here. Just change the monitor to say in. Now, you've gotta change the audio from to say no input, because if you don't, it's gonna feedback or something. So you gotta be careful about that part there. Now, once I hit play, all these, there we go. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna do a basic mix, and here's how you do a basic mix. Let me just run you through this, how I do my basic mixes. Basically, you wanna start with your foundation instruments, your kick and your snare. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn all of these down, like this. So I have these all turned down. Oh, my neck, okay? And I'm gonna put some effects on here. Now, I just have an effect set up that I use on basically everything. I'm just gonna drag it in here. What? Oh, it's lagging. There we go. Turn my threshold down a little bit. Boom, pap. Cool. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. A bit warmer. Yeah, it's pretty good there. Limiter. Turn that up a little bit if I want. Nice. Now for that kick drum, I want that 808 kick drum to have a little bit more punch on the beginning. So I'm actually going to double that up with a 909. So I'm going to duplicate this track. I'm going to call this one bass drum 909. And I'm going to go ahead and grab a 909 kick drum sample. There we go. And this 909 sample, I'm going to cut it off a little bit short. Down here, hold on, let me just hide this window, I don't need that. So I'm actually editing the sample right now. And here how it's all clippy and stuff, right? There we go. Here it gives a nice little punch on the beginning. Now, what I'm going to do with these two drums here is I'm actually going to subgroup these two drums together. I'm going to do it the same way I just did the other one. I'm just going to make a new track. And I'm going to call this one bass drum group. And as you can see, it's super important that you name all this stuff. Naming things is like really, really, really important, just so you don't get lost later. I mean, when you have like, you know, right now I've got like, what, 8 tracks or whatever. When you've got 8 tracks, it's not a big deal. But if you have like 100 tracks, it becomes a really big deal. So I've got this bass drum group here. I'm going to take both of these kick drums and pull them into my bass drum group. See, BD group, boop. Set the monitor to in. Put this up like this. I'm going to solo this. And this audio too is going to go to my drum group. So you can have groups within groups within groups. Now, the reason why I just did that is because I want to run these two kick drums through some effects. I want to affect the kick drums so they have a little bit of punch to them. So I'm going to go in here and let's add a saturator and a glue compressor. And I'm just going to keep that going here. There we go. Let's get the attack. There we go. Cool. I'm going to use a preset here, just a bit warmer. Nice. So I had that sound there. Now, the 808's a little bit long for me. So I'm going to take this 808, I'm going to shorten this puppy up a little bit here. Whoops, hold on, sorry. There we go. So with this one here, I'm going to do one shot. There we go. Nice. Let's just EQ that as well. Oops, not the channel EQ. Sorry, the EQ8 is the one we want. I'm going to drag it down. Got this here. There we go. Nice. And I'm just going to yeah, a little bit of knockout right there. There we go. Nice. Cool. And maybe actually, so now we've got this here as our kick drum sound. We have, it's like the whole, like that's what our kick drum is. So we've got that sound there. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make another track and we're going to call this one bass drum distortion. Give a little bit of distortion on there as a sidechain thing. And so this bass drum here, distortion here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hijack the audio. So instead of running this one into this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it from this one. So audio from is my bass drum group here. And we're going to go post effects. There we go. So we have that, 2 of those. To answer this question real quick, when doing the EQ on the kick drum, what are you listening for? I wanted to take off a little bit I wanted to roll off a little bit of the high frequencies on there, and then also around 120 kind of pulls out a little bit of this kind of like a knocking sound, like a cardboard boxy kind of sound of the kick drum. So I just kind of pulled that down a little bit there. It's really what I was messing with there. And I'm not listening too closely to things. I'm just kind of going for basic sounds at this point. Just because I'm listening on headphones and I've got, I don't have my speakers in front of me and stuff. But that's basically what I was listening for. Now, what I'm about to do is I'm going to put a little distortion on this kick drum. And let's do it using one of my favorite plugins. This is another SoundToys plugin called Decapitator. And the Decapitator plugin is like a secret weapon. Now, Steven says, I like boosting the low. So the thing is, boosting the low is good, but when you're like, it's not, I shouldn't say good, it's fun, but it's usually not the right thing to do. For exactly what Nolan Neal says, you don't want the low mids to be too boomy, and the low and the mids. The problem with boosting your lows is that most of the time, you're not listening on really, really ridiculously amazing speakers, unless you have monitors that cost like, $1,000 each or whatever. They don't have to be that good, but my point is that a lot of times, especially in the beginning, the studios we're listening on stuff when we're just starting off as producers are not the best speakers, they're not the best rooms. Yeah, I understand. I totally understand. You just have to be careful, because what happens when you start boosting lows too much is that translates as being too boomy in a lot of other systems. And it's nothing, I'm not like dissing you at all or anything like that. Like, what you're doing is you just need to make sure that it's going to translate well to other systems. And the only way you can really do that is through experience and understanding. Like, we're going to talk at some point about subtractive mixing, where you don't actually boost anything, you actually just pull stuff out. And it's amazing once you start to do that. But I want to be careful, because I don't want to tell you to never boost the lows. Like, it's not like don't ever boost the lows. It's just like, just be aware of it. Here, let me mute before I drink. Okay. So we got this. Here's the Decapitator. Now, the Decapitator is dope. Let's see. I'm a big fan of Decapitator. Let's see. Are we gonna? Let's move. Yeah. And so what I like to do with Decapitator, what I'm doing at this point is I'm just bringing a little bit in here. So it's just giving it character to that kick drum. Hear how it's distorted, right? But I don't want it to actually be super distorted. I just wanted to have some nice character. Cool. And you know what? Let's do something similar to this snare drum hand clap situation. So I'm going to make another track here, and I'm going to subgroup these two together. So I go in here, and we're going to call this one snare drum group. I'm going to take my snare drum and my hand clap together. Now I know one of them is a hand clap and one of them is a snare drum, but I'm utilizing them as the snare drum of my track. So I'm going to call it the snare drum group. And in here, I'm just going to take these two, and I'm gonna go to audio 2, and it's gonna go to my snare drum group. Oh, here, and this one, audio 2, I'm probably gonna turn that down. And then this one here is gonna go to my drum group. And you wanna make sure that everything's grouped appropriately. Yeah. Nice. Now, the snare drum group, let's go ahead and put a little Decapitator on here as well. So there's my dry sound. And there's my wet sound. Nice. And usually, just the presets in here can be pretty good. Let's see what happens if I turn these down. Yeah, let's use that instead. The dark drive one, yeah. Yeah. Well, what you can do is, so really what you're looking for here when you're, it's called Booty. I didn't make these presets. But one of the things you're looking for in here is the color of the sound, because you can always turn things up and turn it down later on. Yeah. Cool. And we can bypass. Yeah, I like that. And then what we'll do here is we will put a little compression on it. We're going to use the glue compressor. Cool. Awesome. Now I feel like we lost. Oh, we turned this one down. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Nice. Now, with Ableton Live, one of the things over here, let me just recolor these tracks real quick. You'll notice that I like to recolor my tracks all the time. I'm always recoloring stuff. Over here, I've got my drum, the reverb I'm sending my drums to over here, this like stage reverb. I just renamed it Drum Stage. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this reverb and I'm also gonna send it in to reroute it into this track right here. So I'm gonna go audio 2 and it's gonna send it into my drum group. So now that reverb is going into the drum group. And what you'll notice is that when I'm doing that, it actually becomes, the reverb's a little bit too loud. So I'm gonna turn the reverb down on the return track. Nice. Cool. And if you, once I post the video up, if you want to go back and listen to this before and after, you're going to notice that it sounds like it just has a lot more character right now than it did in the beginning. And I don't know if you can remember what it sounded like in the beginning, but it definitely is going to have more character now than it did in the beginning. Now let's listen. Cool. All right. So where are we on as far as stuff? Okay, so subgroup mixing, reminders. MIDI and audio clips act the same way. They launch according to the global quantize. You can only play one at a time per track, and the clip tempo will follow the song tempo. So what that basically means is all these clips here that I've got going on, if I change my song tempo here, right? It'll follow the song tempo. Cool. All right, so you see how that works there. All right, where are we now? Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Drawing in MIDI. Okay, cool. So here, I'm going to turn this back down. Somebody requested trap. Now, if we were in the same classroom, I would banish you from the class because trap, seriously, it never did anyone any good. Hold on, you know what? This deserves a big Tony video and just a stern staring at. Maybe an eyebrow raise. Trap? Really? Very disappointed. Yeah. So oh, EDM is the horrible. EDM hurts everybody's soul. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. Yeah, EDM, no. EDM, house. So anyway, but since the kids like the trap, I can't really do much about that. The kids like the trap. All right. Okay, so let's make a little trap beat. These are all MIDI, right? It's all MIDI. Has everybody signed in? Can I get rid of this? Can I get this over to like the banished to the background? We'll put it up later to make sure. I just want to get my whole screen going on here. Okay. So now, let's see. How do I make... Let's make a trap beat, shall we? Here's my bass drum 808. And here's my bass drum 909. And here's my snare drum. Hey. Snare drum 808. And my hand clap 707. Trap beat is like 140 to 160. Yeah, but what happens when you put that in half, right? Okay. We'll do trap the right way. We'll do trap the right way. So here we go. Desktop. Let's put my tempo up to 150. And we got this here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this hi-hat, we're just gonna pull this down here, my closed hi-hat, boop. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the beat with my snare drum and my 808 and my snare drum here. And then we'll just copy and paste that over into the other one. So we got this here. We're going to take this loop and duplicate it, delete all these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use my pencil tool to put in my beats. So there's my kick drum here. And the shortcut for this is the B key. If you hit the B key, if we look up here in the upper right-hand corner, up top, up here, this is your, this here is your pencil tool, which they call draw mode. And Isaiah Beyonce Carter is now hosting you. I don't know what that means, but anyway. So up here is my draw mode is turned on, and what I'm going to do is use the draw mode to put in some beats here. So if I think about my trap beat, boom. Here, just hold on, give me a second. Like that, and then here the snare drum is going to go like this. Sorry, I don't make trap beats that much. All right, so that should be a trap beat. Let's see what it sounds like. Wait, oh wait, I got to change my tempo. I thought I changed that to 150. Oh yeah, what? Oh, okay, I see. All right, so now what I'm going to do here is I've got this set up. Here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all these hi-hats. And down here, I'm going to make this into 4 bars. And what we're going to do here is we're going to make it so it's mostly 8th notes. Boop. And then we're going to make some 16th notes in here. And few 64th notes. Boom. All right. And then over here, this little triplety thing. Yeah. What? Ha. That didn't work. Cool. What? What? These ones here, we're gonna keep that as like this one. Cool. All right. I mean, it's. Hold on. Now let's get this sounding a little bit better. Done. Over. So. Yeah. Cool. All right. So we got that. Is that trap enough for you? What we need now is the 808, right? We need the 808 in there. So let's get an 808 in here. I have a dope 808 bass that we'll use. It's in my contact in here, right up in here. And I'm going to show you how to make an 808 bass, but not today, sorry. But we will get to the point where I show you how to make the 808. Where's my libraries? There we are. Oh, you know what? I probably have to go into here and go into, where is it? Database. Expert, automation, nope. Files. Let's see, I can't tell if y'all are making fun of me or not. View, oh, here we go. There we go, that's what I want. Where is it? Where's my Warfare samples? Quick jump. Ah, is it not here? Warfare samples, Warfare? I think they're in here, no. Oh, I don't know, where's my Warfare samples? Oh, here they are, okay. Boom, 808 Warfare, here we go. Here we go, all right. Here, we'll get this. There we go. Oof. These are some pretty nasty basses, right? Let's see. What else we got in here? I feel like one of these was pretty good up here. Long clean, maybe. Hey, whoa, hey, you get out of here. Do I have to just do this? What do y'all think about these 808s? Not bad, right? And what you'll notice is that some of it got off. Can't you really hear the sound drive well? So a little bit off because it's actually quantizing at 16th notes, but when you're going this fast, really you want to quantize to the 8th note, not the 16th note. So I'm just going to go ahead and re-quantize these to the 8th note. Move some around. There we go. There we go. Cool. There you go. Is that trappy enough for y'all? Huh? Is that trippity-trappity enough? Yes. Thumbs up. All right, cool. So let's just be like a little bit of a lesson for you that even though I'm not a huge fan of trap, I do like I know that it's like a big genre. I appreciate it. I can make it if I need to. I've made trap for artists before. Obviously, this is just me throwing some stuff down and not really. Nay, Zaint Darko, naysaying. Just for that, you have to listen to me swallow the water. Naysaying. All right. What was I going to say? I was going to say that, I mean, y'all don't know much about me, but I've made all kinds of music in my career. And some of it I love making, and some of it I make for the money. And you have to really, if you're trying to make a living doing music and being a producer, then you really have to be able to work on stuff that you might not love working on. That's just part of how it goes if you're trying to make a living doing this. So trap, not my favorite, but I can make it, and I can make it, I can add some little things in here and there, make it fun and make it sound pretty dope. So, which we haven't gotten to that part. But what I wanted to show you was, I pushed the fold button here. The fold button in the upper left-hand corner lets me fold all the notes down into the ones that I've played. So it's easier to deal with the notes here. My favorite genre is down-tempo. I like making film scorey, down-tempo-y stuff that's like super chill. So there we go. Cool. I know what I was gonna do. Okay, Kevin, what's up? Kevin, let me get you on the list here. Thanks for writing in. Kevin Tejada. There you go. Cool. Kelvin. Oh, Kelvin. Thank you. Let's put an L. There we go. There we go. There you go. Hunter Hazelton. Hazelton, let me spell your name right. There we go. Now you're on there. Yep, I got you. I got you. Cool. How many are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1920. Cool. Analog is dope. I don't have my analog gear in here right now though. I've got a sub 37 at home and a couple of other pieces. So, yeah. Cool. All right. Turn this one down. So now what are we looking at here? So that's your, okay. So a couple things when you're drawing notes in. Let's see, if you click to input a note and you continue to hold the mouse down and drag up and down, you're gonna adjust the velocity of something. So let's go in here and take a look at these hi-hats. Let's take a look at these hi-hats. I'm gonna make another hi-hat line. And I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of all these hi-hats. And if I go ahead and drag these, if I drag it over, I'm clicking and holding down with my mouse. And if I drag up and down, you're going to see the velocity gets higher and lower. Okay. Oh no, I think I just crashed my Ableton Live. I'm pretty sure I did. Oh no, I didn't. Oh, cool. All right. All right, hold on. Hold on, just gonna, there we go. Sweet. So here, check this out. If I click and I drag over, and that's gonna make more notes according to my grid. Now, if you wanna change the grid size, I can hit Command 1 or 2, and it changes the grid size. I'm in triplet mode right now. Wait, there we go. Let me turn that off. So you see if I hit Command 1 and 2, it makes the grid smaller and larger. You see these grid lines in here? It makes the grid smaller and larger. Okay. So I got this, and I click and I drag it over. So now, I just make this into a 2-bar loop. So now, so if I want to put more notes in here, right, so I can do that. That's how I'm doing that, right? What I'm doing is I'm hitting Command 1 and 2. Let me put my keyboard over here so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So you can see I'm hitting Command 1 and 2 as I move things around, okay? So let's just do that one more time. So here's this. So you can see I'm hitting Command 1 and 2 to change my grid. See how that's working? And if I wanted to make these notes in here have some different velocities, down here at the bottom is my velocities. So I can go in here and I can say, all right, I'm just going to draw in these velocities. Whoops, let's like this. So it'll draw in the velocities. Can you do the same with pitch? Kind of. We're going to talk about clip envelopes in a little bit, Agent Orange. We're going to talk about clip envelopes a little bit later. But basically, yeah, you can kind of do the same with pitch. Not quite as easy as this, but it's not super hard either. Let me think about it. Like, yeah, actually, I think you probably could, and it wouldn't be that hard. It's pretty neat. So you can do that. Now, the other thing is also, though, let's just say I have a whole bunch of these notes. And I just want to have a ton of these notes. Right? So what I can do in here is I can actually highlight some of these notes using my arrow key. I turn off my pencil tool, and now if I hold down Command and I highlight some of these, it lets me draw in velocity lines like this, like that. So like this, and I can draw in like these velocity lines like this by holding down Command. And if I've got something highlighted, if I don't have anything highlighted, I'm just going to go over the notes like this. Like that. Okay. All right, so what are y'all talking about in there? Ugh. All right. So you can see the velocity lines are like, I can mess around with my velocities. If I just wanted to have the whole thing be one giant velocity grow, I can just do that. So you see how that works? Like that. So that's how you can do stuff with velocities. Now, one more thing that I want to point out with the velocities is you can see that the harder velocities are a brighter color and the lower velocities are a darker color. So let me just ask you a question. What does velocity mean? What does velocity actually mean? Ooh, thank you. I'm still muted. Thanks. Great. Thank you. Okay. So what I was going to say, thank you, Joanna. You're absolutely correct. Is it has to do with the how hard a MIDI key is hit. So if I've got my keyboard here, there we go. Why is this not bigger? Hold on. There we go. Oh, I know why. I think there's a gap there. Okay. So if I have spitting my ad libs. All right. So with a drum kit, this translates into loudness usually. So for example, if I got my hi-hat in here, right here, my closed hat. Where is it? There it is. So if I hit it soft, if I hit it like not hard, it's going to be quiet. But if I hit it harder and harder and harder, it translates into how loud something is. But if I'm using a synthesizer, and this is something we're going to talk about once we start talking about the synthesizers, when I'm using a synthesizer, that actually doesn't mean loudness. I can have it open up the filter, I can have it close the filter, I can have it do some different things. So we want to be careful if we're talking about velocity that it's not always about how loud or soft something is. It has to do with literally how hard you're hitting the keyboard over here. And that's a really, really important thing that I want to make sure that you are aware of. Cool. All right. Let me see. We have one more minute before we're going to take another 10-minute break. Let's just make sure that we're good in here. Just create strings of notes, drag to the right, up and down. We'll change the velocity. Here's all the shortcuts. Wait, here we go. Wait. Put the desktop on. Boop. Here's all your shortcuts. The shortcuts for adjusting the grid size, they're right here. Command 1, Command 2, Command 3. Command 1 and 2 make the grid larger and smaller. Command 3 gives you a triplet. Command 4 turns the grid on and off. And Command 5 switches between a fixed and adaptive grid. I usually just leave it to adaptive. And what that means is when you zoom in, the grid gets smaller or bigger. So that's that for you. You can definitely check that out in your own free time. And let's see. Cool. Velocity adjustments. Command click a note and drag up and down to adjust velocity from one note that's highlighted. And yeah, you can hold down Command to draw a line to make smooth velocity changes over time. Sweetness. When we come back after the break, after the 10-minute break, we're going to talk about freezing and flattening tracks. Freeze and flatten. These are really, really useful things for you to use when you've got your MIDI is set up and you like your MIDI and you want to just take that and make that track into audio. And I'm going to show you that with the bass line here in a minute. So y'all take a 10-minute break and then we'll be back and we'll be talking about more of this stuff. All right? Peace. Although